Hey, we're joined now by Antonio Baillargeon. He is the CEO of M&A Associates. Good to see you again.
Likewise, Don. How have you been?
Well, I've been great. You know, we first sat down for an interview about 7 or 8 months ago, and
roughly, yeah.
We were talking about this being put together, this being under construction, and look at this. This is fantastic.
Wow. You know, talk about tooth and nail to get here, but we're finally here. We have a built-out facility. Everything is top of the line. State-of-the-art technology. We're very excited.
Now, as a CEO of M&A Associates, it's basically your job to oversee the management, so to speak, of the testing to ensure potency and purity. Tell us about that.
So we're basically just becoming the FDA. We set our standards. It's very stringent standards set by the state of Nevada, and we're just making sure, we're just ensuring the safety for the public.
Now, when they bring the product in, you're basically in the business of testing it to make sure that it basically holds up to state standards?
It holds up to the state standards. It's free of mold and pesticides and heavy metals.
Okay. Now this is, I think, you know, for an analogy, so to speak, this is very similar to the testing you do on OTC pharmaceuticals and such, right?
Absolutely. It's very stringent. They're basing it off of meat and dairy right now. I know there's an amendment to change it over to hops and spices to make it a little bit more comparable, so we can compare apples to apples, mind you. But it's very similar to the FDA stringent exams.
So you have a certain set of guidelines that have been set forth by the state that you follow, obviously religiously, to make sure that the product that comes in here meets those stringent guidelines before you send out an approval? Is that how it works?
Exactly. We make sure it meets all the guidelines and set by the legislation by the state of Nevada, and then once it passes the legislation, we destroy the sample and we give back the test results to the actual grower. And then from the grower, it actually goes to the dispensary off to the consumer.
That's really exciting. Again, we talked about this 7 or 8 months ago. It was an apple in your eye at that point. It's real here now.
It's a reality now.
Congratulations.
It's a phenomenon.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me.